Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've done my last video, but I submitted my photos a little while ago and had to make a couple of changes, so I thought I'd do another video on my comma. That was the main issue that my submission had. So as you can see, I've got three different sets here. So first off is my original one, this big guy right here. I used the string to tie it around me, but the problem was that it was just too big. I thought if I tried to pull on the strings and kind of bunched up at the top, maybe that would hide it, but unfortunately that was really showing up in the photos, and so I had to find another solution. So that led me to the second attempt, which, as you can see, I did take some more off the edge here. However, it turns out that this one ended up being too big too. One thing, the problem that I had is, I guess what happened is that the first time when I measured how much cloth I need, I guess I probably ended up catching a little bit on one of my ammo boxes or something like that, and I didn't notice it since I only really looked at the front and the back. I didn't really check out the sides, and I guess maybe one of the boxes got underneath or something, so I had this little extra that I didn't need. I thought I could try and after I made it, when I found out it was too much, I thought I could try and fold it over. I'll show you guys what happened. And kind of tuck it under with my ammo boxes, but it's also kind of, it's also showing up with little creases under there. So I thought, okay, this isn't going to work either. So I didn't even bother with that one. And that ended up with my third set here, which has came out a lot better than my second set. So I'll just put all three of these on top so you can kind of see how much fabric ended up getting cut. So that's a good amount of extra fabric, and if I would have paid more attention to checking, then I would have had a lot easier time with that. So one other thing that I also did is that when I went from the third edition to the first and second, instead of doing the string, I'm going to put Velcro on the inside, up here on the top ribbon. And what that does is that if I put Velcro along the mid piece, is that I can usually just attach it there, because one other problem I was having with the string is that I would have to figure out how to hide the string in the front when I tied it, which was very hard, and sometimes it would come loose and then the whole thing would fall down, and so I thought, okay, well, I'll just use Velcro now. That way, at least when it gets there, it'll stay there for a while. For right now, I'm just having it just simply sticking it to the ribbon, but I think eventually, though, I'm probably gonna have to sew each of the adhesive strips into the ribbon itself. I didn't want to do it with the machine because it was already pretty heavy with the ribbons. For the first two, I tried using an elastic ribbon, but the problem was that when I doubled over, it was very thick, and it actually broke the needle on the machine a couple of times. So with this one, I ended up using a non-elastic thin ribbon instead. And the problem that I ran into with that is just that with sewing this part, it wasn't able to stretch, so the seam isn't quite as flat, but it still works, I think. So actually, I'm kind of curious. For those of you watching, if you've made a comma before, I'll be very curious to hear what did you use for the ribbon, and how did you solve the issue of the rounded corners, because the rounded corners is probably the trickiest part of the comma piece, just because you have, you can make the outside nice and smooth, but then the inside, since there's so much fabric doubled up and folding over each other, how did you address that problem? So if you could let me know how you chose to do your commas, I think that would be a benefit to other people watching the video as well, who want to make their own. So that's it for this section. Thanks, and I'll catch you later.